In the last video, we stopped at the 661st name of the goddess. Today, we will look at names 662 to 694, slokas 131 to 135. 131st verse.
अष्टमूर्तिरजाजैत्री लोकयात्रा विधायिनी एकाकिनी भूमरूपा निर्द्वैताद्वैतवर्जिता.
Ashtamurti Rajajayatri. There are two names here, Ashtamurti and Ajajayatri. Ashtamurti, this name means goddesses with 8 bodies. The 8 forms of Lord Shiva are Bhavan, Sharvan, Ishwaran, Pashupati, Rudran, Ugran, Bhiman and Mahan. It is said that the 8 forms of Devi, that is Shakti, the consort of Shiva, are earth, water, fire, air, sky, sun, moon and Purushan. This is why the goddess is described in Ashtamurti form. In Matsya Purana, the 8 forms of goddess are Lakshmi, Medha, Dhara, Pushti, Gauri, Tushti, Prabha and Dhriti. Ajajayatri. Aja means avidya. It is stated here that Devi is one who has defeated such aja, that is avidya. It is said that from the very beginning of the birth of any living being, there is this eternal ignorance, that is avidya, with it. When Devi is pleased with the worshippers and bestows wisdom, they overcome avidya. If the worshipper and the goddess are considered as one, then it can be seen that the goddess is the conqueror of ignorance. Lokayatra Vidhayini. This name describes the goddess as one who organizes the course of the universe, that is Vidhayini. It is said that as long as the universe exists, it is the creator goddess who determines how it should be conducted. Ekagini. It means Devi is one who is alone. We have already seen the name Kevala. Once again, it is enforced that there is nothing but Devi. Bhuma Rupa. Here the goddess is described as Brahma Surupini and Bahu Surupini. It is said that Bhumava means Brahman itself. Nirdvaida Dvaida Varjida. There are 2 names here, Nirdvaida and Dvaida Varjida. Nirdvaida. This name shows that Devi is totally devoid of dualistic feeling. That is, feeling that there is something other than herself. We have seen that the goddess is Kevala and Ekagini. Dvaida Varjita. Here she is described again as completely devoid of duality. There is no duality in Devi. It is said that it is short-lived, but the goddess is Brahma Surupini, eternal. This universe itself is the goddess. 132nd verse.
Annada Vasudha Vritha Brahmatmyaikya Swarupini Brihadi Brahmani Brahmi Brahmananda Belipriya.
Annada. In this name, the goddess who took the form of Annapurneshwari is referred to as Annam Tarunaval, that is the giver of food, that is Annadada. It is said that Devi, with a bowl of food in one hand and a spoon in the other hand, is ready to serve food to all those in need, and if you approach the goddess with a reverence, the goddess will give you suitable food. Vasudha. Vasu means wealth. So the goddess can be said to be the bestower of Vasu, that is wealth. As Vasu means 8 according to the Bhuta Sankhya, it also means that the goddess is one who bestows the Ashtasiddhis like Anima. Vruddha. The name means ancient, increasing, perfect of all old age, etc. Devi is ancient because Devi is eternal and existing before the creation of this universe. Vruddha, that is increasing, is said to be visibly increasing as this universe. Old age is said to be 4 types. They are Jnana Vruddhatvam, Dharma Vruddhatvam, Vayo Vruddhatvam and Dhana Vruddhatvam. As all these belong to Devi, she becomes Vruddha. Brahmatmyaikya Swarupini. By this name, the goddess is described as having the form of the union between Brahman and the soul, that is Atma. It is said that the nature of the goddess is to unite, that is join, Jivatma to Brahman. The true form of the goddess is the union of soul with Brahman. Brihati, the goddess is described as very great and in the form of Brihati, a chandas. A chandas of 36 syllables is known as Brihati. It is said that it is Devi herself. In Kurma Purana, Devi is said to be the Gayatri in chandas. Brahmani, Shiva's wife, Brahmi, a medicinal plant, and divine knowledge are the meanings of this name. Mahadeva, that is Samba Shiva, is said to be a Brahman. Then Devi became Brahmani. Brahmani means flowers in the Samayajara scheme. Brahmani is also said to be a divine knowledge. Brahmi, this name means connected with Brahma. Brahmi, that is Saraswati, is the Shakti form of Brahma. The three Shakti forms of Trimurtis were incarnated together as goddess to slay Raktabijasura. Hence, the goddess is called Brahmi. Brahmananda, the goddess is described here as the Brahmananda. Rishishwaras have divided the feeling of pleasure into 8 types. They are Vishayananda, Vasanananda, Nijananda, Mukhyananda, Atmananda, Advaitananda, Jnanananda, and Brahmananda. Then the goddess is called Brahmananda Swarupini. Balipriya, the meaning of this name is that Devi is pleased with oblations offered with care and devotion. She is pleased with the strong who subdue the lustful and wrathful. She is pleased with those who conquer ignorance. She is pleased with the Emperor Mahabali, etc. Mahabali is very dear to Vishnu. It is said that the same is the case with Devi. 133rd verse.
Bhasharupa Brihatsena Bhava Bhava Vivarjita Sukharadhya Shubhagari Shobhana Sulabhagati.
Bhasha Rupa, the goddess is described here as having the form of languages and being formed by languages. Languages are many. Whatever the language is, it is said that they are Devi only. We communicate our thoughts with words. It is said that Devi as Shabda Brahman takes the form of many languages. Brihatsena, the meaning of this name is that Devi is with a very large army. Apart from 64 crore yoginis serving the goddess, Chaturanga Sena is also mentioned in Lalitopakhyanam and Devi Mahatmyam. Bhava Bhava Vivarjita. Do not chant this name as Bhava Bhava Vivarjita. Bhava Bhava Vivarjita is the correct method. Then, by this name, we can see that the goddess is described as having no attitudes, that is, modes and absences. Devi is originless and undestructive. This non-dual, eternal goddess has neither attitudes, that is, modes, nor absence. Sukharadhya. This name means that the goddess is worthy of simple, that is, free from tedious procedures, worship. Acharyas have not prescribed strict rules for Devi worship. It is said that any form of worship with attention and devotion will please the goddess. Shubhagari. Shubhagari or Shubhaprada is the giver of auspiciousness. It is said that the goddess will be fully satisfied and is sure to shower blessings on the devotees. Shobhana Sulabhagati. Devi is said to be bright and easygoing. In Vishwakosha, Gati means path, result, and wisdom. Moksha is the brightest thing in the life of a human being. Devi is said to be the path to attain salvation easily. 134th verse.
Rajarajeshwari Rajyadaini Rajyavallabha Rajatkripa Rajapitha Niveshita Nijashrita.
Rajarajeshwari. Here the goddess is described as the goddess of kings. Brahma, Vishnu and Rudra are said to be the kings, that is, Adhishas of the kings Indra, Agni, Yama, Nirudi, Varuna, Vayu, Kubera and Ishana, who are Dikpalas. Indra, the leader of the Dikpalas, Parameshwara, wearing the moon, and the Kubera are all known as Rajarajeshwaras. It is said that Devi is the Ishwari of all of them and they worship the goddess. Rajyadaini, the goddess is described as the one who gives the kingdom to those who have lost their kingdom, and who gives the devotees the worlds like Brahmaloka, Vaikuntha, Kailasam, and Sripuram. In the Puranas, it is seen that kings who lost their kingdoms due to the attacks of their enemies worshipped the goddess and regained their kingdoms. It is said that the kingdom was given to Dikpalar and others by Devi. It is said that the goddess gives merited positions in Brahmaloka, Vaikuntha, Kailasam, and Sripuram to the devotees according to their merit. Rajyavallabha, the goddess is described here as the lover of kingdoms and one who is fond of the kings of kingdoms. Vaikuntham, Kailasam, and Sripuram are all important to the goddess. It is said that because the Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwaras go to Sripuram and worship the goddess is fond of them. Rajat Kripa, it means the goddess is with radiant grace. The grace of the goddess is very famous. Mother's grace shines everywhere more than father's. It is said that the grace of the mother of the world pervades all things from the largest to the smallest. Rajapitha Niveshita Nijashrita. Devi is described here as the one who seats those who depend on her on the throne. It is also said that the goddess is very enthusiastic and happy to give high status to the devotees. 135th verse.
Rajyalakshmi Koshanadha Chadurangabaleshwari Samrajyadayini Satyasantha Sagara Mekhala.
Rajyalakshmi. Here, the goddess is described as the Lakshmi of the kingdom and personification of the Rajyalakshmi mantra. It is said that due to the grace of the goddess, prosperity arises in every country. There is a mantra called Rajyalakshmi in Tantra Raja. It is said that Devi is the embodiment of the mantra. Koshanatha. Kosham, when used with the name Rajyalakshmi, can be taken to mean treasury. By this name, the goddess is described as the lord of 5 cells, that is koshas. The treasury is filled only with the kadaksha of the goddess. There are 5 koshas in the gross, subtle, casual body of all living beings, namely Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, and Anandamaya Kosha. They, concealing the Atma, boast that they are the Atma. Devi, being the lord of the koshas, controls their functioning. Chaduranga Baleshwari. This name describes the goddess as Ishwari of the Chaduranga Sena and Ishwari of the Chadurvyuhas. Chaduranga Sena is a 4-member force, namely elephant, cavalry, Terpada, that is fleet of chariots, and infantry. It is said that Devi is its Ishwari. In ancient times, in Bharat, we used to use these weapons to form a battle system that did not deviate from the dharma. Its goddess is said to be Devi. Manas, Buddhi, Ahangara, and Chitta are the 4 vyuhams of the living world. Devi is said to be the Ishwari of all these. Samrajyadayini. Devi is described as the giver of empire. For a king to bring the whole earth under his control, he needs the blessings of the goddess to become the king of all kings. Satyasantha. The goddess is described as the protector of truth by this name. Santha means word manners. Devi's words will always be true. In Durga Saptashati, we can see that the goddess has promised the Brahmadi Devas that whenever there is a suffering in the world due to the Dhanavas, she will incarnate and destroy them. This word is always followed. Sagara Mekhala. Mekhala here means Aranyanam, that is waist ornament. So the goddess is described by this name as the one who has made the oceans into her Aranyanam. Devi is said to be Bhumi Surupini, who is surrounded by the oceans. When one meditates on the Devi Surupa with the 14 worlds, the earth becomes the waist of the goddess. Odyanam and Aranyanam worn around the waist are called Mekhala. 694 names and 135 verses are over. Let us recite today's 5 verses.
Ashtamurtiraja Jaitri Lokayatra Vidhaini Ekagini Bhumarupa Nirdvaida Dvaida Varjita Annada Vasudha Vritha Brahmatmyaikya Swarupini Brihadi Brahmani Brahmi Brahmananda Belipriya ഭാഷാരൂപാ ബൃഹത്സേന ഭാവാ ഭാവവിവർജിത സുഖാരാധ്യ ശുഭകരി ശോഭന സുലഭാഗതി രാജരാജേശ്വരി രാജ്യദായിനി രാജ്യവല്ലഭ രാജത്കൃപ രാജപീഠ നിവേശിത നിജാശ്രിത രാജ്യലക്ഷ്മി കോശനാഥ ചതുരംഗബലേശ്വരി സാമ്രാജ്യദായിനി സത്യസന്ധ സാഗരമേഖല.
In the next video, we shall see the verses from 136 to 140.